Hey kids, Flexing Teacher Weber here. I was going to do the second video on some of the percent problems we've done so far. What we also looked at this week was how to calculate provincial sales tax and goods and services tax. We started out talking about what percent they are and about how they're calculated and what items they're calculated on, and how it's a little bit complicated. It depends on the items and things like that. And sometimes you just calculate GST on items, sometimes there's no PST. So we talked a bit about that. We talked about how stores have to calculate the provincial sales tax and the goods and services tax separately so that those taxes can get paid to the appropriate level of government. We also talked about how as the consumer, if you want, you can calculate your taxes by just thinking of it as 12%, right? So together the PST and the GST total 12%. But stores have to make sure they calculate those taxes separately. And we talked about how the two taxes are added on to the cost of an item to get the total cost. So we started off looking at some problems like this, where we calculate the taxes, then the total. So again, we want to label everything. So in these first couple of questions, I thought it'd be interesting to calculate the taxes separately like a store would. So we'd start off with the GST. Again, I want the kids to label what they're doing. If they're calculating a GST, make sure you show it. The GST is 5% of $150. And we would change the 5% to a decimal, which is 0 and 5 hundredths, times $150. And we actually know how to use our mental math skills to estimate this, right? 10% of 150 is 15. 5% is half of that. So that would be $7.50 that goes to the government of Canada. And then we calculate the PST, which is 7% of 150. We talked about how these are different in different provinces as well, and territories, the PST. So that's 0 and 7 hundredths times $150. And when you work that out, that's $10.50. Now I realize my instructions are sort of wrong here. I said calculate the selling price, but really you're calculating the total cost, right? So I should clarify that. To get the total cost now, you add up your selling price and your taxes. So you're going to add up $150 and $10.50 and $7.50. And you add up those selling price and your taxes. Oh, there's my decimal, and you get an 8, and a 6, and a 1. And the total cost of these boots are $168. And again, notice how we're labeling what we're doing. GST, PST, total cost. All right. Let's look at another one. Got a more expensive item. A car costs $25,500. So if we were to start off and calculate the GST on that, that would be 5% of $25,500. And that would be 5 hundredths times $25,500. And when we calculate that, you get $1,275. Some of the kids this week were really amazed at the amount of taxes and the amount of taxes that would be accumulated each day by levels of government. We talked about the positives and negatives of that, how there's good reasons governments provide a lot of services for people, but how too the alternative, people who are maybe a little more anti-tax would say, I could really use that money in my pocket. So we talked about the positives and negatives of these as well. And I didn't insert any of my own political opinions, but I just sort of tried to give them the arguments for and against. Then calculating the PST, we would do 7% of $25,500. And that's 0.07 times $25,500. And again, you can use your technology to work that out. And you get $1,785 that goes to the government of Manitoba. So there's our two taxes. And again, we talked about how the store would have to track those separately and pay those to the appropriate levels of government. And then to get the total cost, you add up your selling price and your taxes. So $25,500 plus $1,275 plus $1,785. So we add those up. And we get $28,560 is the actual price we would pay for this vehicle. The kids were shocked is the wrong word, but they were a little bit surprised that taxes add that much onto items, and the PST and GST, you start to notice it as the cost of an item increases. So we did some questions where you had to calculate taxes, and then what we did is we put everything together. We talked about what you'd pay if you had a discount and wanted to calculate a total cost. So again, the order you do this, you start off with your discount. And the discount on this sweater is 20% of $65.50. Change that to a decimal, it's 0.20 or 0.2 times $65.50. When you work that out, you get that's $13.10. Okay, and then you'll calculate your sale price. So you take your regular price of $65. You subtract your discount, $13.10. Oh, and I noticed an error. That's $65.50. And you subtract those, and you get a sale price of $52.40. Next up would be your taxes. And what we did on these two is I thought it might be good to show them that if you're the consumer, you can just combine your PST and GST to get 12% of $65.50. So that's 0 and 12 hundredths times $65.50. When you work that out, you get $7.86. Oh, Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber made an error though, right? So, what's going on here? There we go, right? Hopefully you picked up on this. You don't calculate your taxes on your regular price, you calculate it on the price you're actually going to pay, right? So I would do 12% of $52.40. All make mistakes, right? All got to learn from them. So no worries. Just as long as we're learning from our mistakes and trying not to repeat them, it's all good. So you're doing 12 hundredths times $52.40. And when you work that out, you get $6 288 thousandths. So we have to do some rounding here because money needs 2 decimal spots. So you look to the digit to the right. The digit to the right of the one I'm rounding is an 8. So 5 or more, you raise the score. And that's going to be $6.29 are our taxes on this sweater. Now to get your total cost, you take the price you're going to pay for the sweater, which is the sale price, $52.40, and you add on the taxes. And when you work that out, you get $58.69. And that's the total cost of the item, the total cost you'd pay. So if you're calculating a total price in a question that has a discount, you start with the discount first, then go to the sale price. Don't make the error I made, and you take your taxes and you calculate your taxes based on the sale price, whatever you're going to be paying for the item. If there's no sale price, then you'd make the taxes off the regular price. And then you take whatever you're paying for the item and add on the taxes to get the total cost. Notice how I'm organizing this. Labeling what I'm doing, right? Taking some pride in my work so that, when it gets looked at, it's very clear what your thinking was. Both of these videos I did tonight will help you with the 8 questions that you have for homework on percent problems that are due on Monday. And remember, you also, if you didn't finish, you also have the fence post problem that I gave you today as well. That's all for now. Have a great weekend. Make sure you get outside a bit, but also finish your homework. And trust me, I'm flexing right now. And I'm going to rest my voice a bit. And I will see you on Monday. Flexing Teacher Weber out.